Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I found a monkey and a transparent orange chainsaw, but that's not what this video is about. This video is actually about some creatures I made when my cousin from Alaska came down about a month ago. I finally found time to record this video and show you guys. First off, I have a derpy dragon T-Rex mecha thing I called Derpin. Derpin was the first one I actually built out of this series of creatures, so I put a lot more, maybe a little more effort into this guy. But he's got a satellite dish on the back, mostly for a counterbalance. He's got adjustable wings with little ion engines up top, or out back, that he can swivel around to use his guns if he needs to. He's got stubby little T-Rex arms that are pretty much useless for anything. And he has posable legs, although he has some balance issues. If I was going to redesign him, I would make his tail a bit heavier so he would balance himself out a bit better. Because that head is really big and really heavy. Speaking of his head, he has an opening mouth, and he just looks kind of derpy. Up next is Torpionk, or Torpionk, basically tortoise, scorpion, and tank. This guy is my second character created, kind of a defensive buddy to this guy, who's a lot more offensive and quick. He is fairly slow, and I started out thinking I wanted to make some guy who's nice, big, and shielded, but I didn't have the correct green parts to pull that off, so I ended up using these transparent orange windshield pieces as a sort of an energy shield around his core. He's got some articulation in the middle, able to bend up and down, but not side to side. His tail is based on a scorpion's and is fully ball jointed, so it has a lot of posability. He can even shoot behind him. His head is on a ball joint, so he can look off in whatever direction he needs to. And I gave him these car doors for eyebrows, which give him a lot of expression. I like usually making him angry because he has a face full of teeth, so he's upset. He also has a cool mohawk there. Next up is Flatipus. He's kind of a cross between a platypus and a skunk, and his name partially comes from the fact that he's just generally really flat. This is actually one of my favorite guys that I made, and it started out as just a few bricks that my cousin put together, and then I said, you need to have eyes, so I put some eyes on it, and then I ended up rearranging his pieces using all of the pieces he had in the original creation, including this long bar, which actually helps with one of his functions. And basically, he's pretty simple of a character. His tail is on a ball joint, so that can move around and he can swat people with it. It's also hinged in the middle for a little more, playability, I guess. His head is on a ball joint, but it doesn't exactly have much range. His mouth opens up, and I just love his eyes. Look at his expression. He's so derpy. Anywho, he has little poison barbs on the backs of his feet, and he has some poison gland emitters on the end of his tail there, like the skunk. And this bar in the middle that I mentioned earlier comes in handy when using his sonic boom ability. It's basically a didgeridoo blast because he's partially from Australia, so it thought it made sense. What he does is opens his mouth, curls his tail under like that, and whoa, 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 whoa. He can fly. It's crude, it probably doesn't work very well, but he can fly. Anyway, that's it for Flatipus. Up next is Vipterra. Vipterra happened mostly because my cousin thought it would be cool if I used some of these sharp knife dagger teeth, and unfortunately I couldn't get a mouth to work, but he still has the big pointy teeth. And essentially I based him on kind of a cross between an airplane, a viper, and he might actually be somewhat of a cobra if I think about it now. Anyway, viper, cobra, and a pterosaur. These are just for style mostly, and he has these blue energy squares all over his body. I suppose these would be anti-gravity emitters, which would help him fly and go really fast. Maybe that's his power core. I don't know. These are his hands. His feet are on ball joints, but not exactly the most maneuverable. I put them up like this when he's in flying mode, which is most of the time. And his wings, as you can already see, are also on ball joints. And yeah, there's really not much more to this character. He doesn't stand very well because, unlike Dergon over there, he is back heavy, so he's always standing like a tripod. And I don't know, this guy's one of my favorites. He's just simple and I don't know, he's a favorite. And last up, I have the final guy I created. I called him Punchy McSplody Fist. Or Punchbot McSplody Fist. His hands explode when he punches you. I'm really channeling the Ice Planet sets with this guy. Oops. He has a jetpack on his back, so he can fly. He has a swiveling torso, so he can wind up and punch. He has a heat dispensing hat thing. I'm not really sure. His arms and legs are on ball joints, so he has some posability, but he's not exactly the easiest to pose because he's, again, pretty top heavy, and he likes to fall down if you don't put him right, or put him in the right stance. Other than that, he's pretty simple, and I like him. Actually, I like all these guys. I should make more of these. I need to make one for yellow, and I need to make one for black, I guess. But yeah. And that's all my creatures that I made. And the Flat Off Championship goes to, of course, Flatipus. Torpionk, did you run over Flatipus? You could have hurt him. Good. Oh no, they've turned on me. I blame the monkey. Oh no, the monkey has the chainsaw now. Nah. Monkey versus robot. I am having way too much fun with these characters. And seriously, somebody get the orange transparent chainsaw away from that monkey. Whoa, 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 whoa. Guess I'll just roll on out.